Hey, what's going on? It's Glendon Cameron. Happy freaking Tuesday. It's a great day in the neighborhood. I'm working on a lot of stuff, but I'm not even going to talk about that stuff right now. I'll talk about that stuff later. What I'm going to talk about is owning a business, what it means, and how you can do it. As I was getting ready to do something, I saw this comment of your message. You always talk about owning a business. What does it mean to own a business? And I looked at the comment and it was like, does owning a business means having your brick and mortar, having employees? And the answer to that question is yes, it does. But also, that is only a partial definition of owning a business. I own a business. I have no employees. Nothing. It's just me. And this is my definition of a business. A business is a enterprise that makes money whether you're present or not. If you have an eBay business or an Amazon business, I would say Amazon could be a business, but see, this is the disconnect. If you cannot walk away from that business for a few days or a few weeks or a few months and income continues to come in, you have what's called a job. You are self-employed. If at any point you cannot sit down, walk away, do nothing without your income continues to come in, you don't have a business. That's the definition of a business. A business makes money whether you're there or not. And many people have a business that's really a hustle. I knew a guy that owned a liquor store. Whenever he had to do something, he literally had to close shop. So when he was gone, he was out of business. He had a business license, a liquor license, a location, rent, all of that. But since he and his wife ran it, when he had to do something, he shut his doors. He had a very documented hustle. When you're building a business, first thing that you must keep in mind is, will this business make money when I'm at home doing nothing? Many people don't think that far. Many people craft an enterprise and create themselves a job. Because if you cannot walk away, holiday weekend, I'm out doing things. I actually come back. I've made money and I was gone. That is the definition of business. And some people go, well, isn't that passive income? And I'm going to go, no. It's residual income or it's sales income because I have certain processes with my business that are automated, which means I don't have to be around. And one of the things that I'm doing that I will not speak about is I'm changing up that whole process, and I'll probably discuss that tomorrow. But essentially, if you want to have a business, you want to have an entity that is apart from you that earns money. If you are in your business, if your business goes south, if you disappear, if you get hurt, or if you can't work as robustly as you can physically, you have a job. You're self-employed with a job. I can't stress this point enough. When you get to the point where your business puts money in your bank account day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, without a heavy involvement of you all of the time, because to get to this point, you have to build your business up. You have to put forth effort. You may work like a maniac for 2, 3, 4 years, but I know people who've worked like a maniac for 2, 3, 4, 7. I know one guy worked like a maniac for 7 years. It cost him his marriage. Family talked about him. He recently sold his business for $20 million. 7 years for $20 million. And he's still a relatively young guy. I think he's 38 now. He can get all what he lost back. And people are like, no, you can't get family back. All I want to say is, how many guys have you seen get rich and marry young women and have kids? That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. But anywho, if you want to start a business, you have to put in your mind that your goal is to, number one, serve as many people as possible that fit the benefit spectrum of your product or service. That's goal number one. Number two is to create processes an automation factors where your business isn't working you, your business is working for you. I have a unique business. Actually, I have a unique set of businesses. I am a published author. I do consulting. I have YouTube. I have courses. And, every now and then I hustle with reselling products. I get them off Craigslist, eBay, and resell them because it's fun. But, I've dialed that way, way back. But essentially, the business part of my income stream, so to speak, made me money when I wasn't even in town. And that's the ultimate goal. That is one of the reasons that, I've really kind of pushed away from eBay and Amazon. And to a degree, if you're a writer, you can create a business model like this, because I'll just give it to you really quickly. If you write 20, 25 books in the same genre, whatever that may be, monsters, vampires, eBay, Amazon, whatever, and they're all congruent, you can create yourself a business income from those 20 books that will just pay you for months or years. Whether you do anything else. My first book, I didn't do anything for 6 months and my income grew. It increased. So that's one of the things that set me on this path of making sure that I create things that can make me money whether I'm present or not. There's a great deal of brouhaha in the resale community, and in time, many people will come to understand what I understand. Resale is fun. Finding that thing for $1 and watching it climb to $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, or $1,000 on eBay is awesome. You can't beat it. I mean, it's sitting there like watching this fantasy spin into a reality, and you get to benefit from it. I totally get that. But the limitations of resale is you must go out and buy the product. You must ship the product. You must deal with customer service. The only thing that gets past that, and this isn't drop shipping to me, where you find a company, you forge a relationship, you actually know that they're going to ship this stuff, and they ship your product to Amazon, and you never leave your house. You never leave your house. You do all this on the computer. So to me, that's more of a self-employment business model that's more sustainable, because you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to pick anything up. You don't have to ship anything. All you have to do is input information through your keyboard and use your credit card, and stuff goes where you need to go, and you get paid. That is more of a business model in my mind. But essentially, if you are going to start a business, you should understand the difference between self-employment and a business model. The key part, and there's a lot of repetition in this hangout, because the key part is you. I had a consultant client, and I had to really be blunt, and I said, well, the bottleneck to your business is you. You don't want to let certain things go, and that is inhibiting you from making the money that you want to make. That is where a lot of small business owners or small hustler owners are. They can't let that stuff go. You hear, I'll always do resale. I'll always be a picker. I'll always be a storage auction guy. I'll always do this. And what you're doing is slapping a limit on your potential income, because you want to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, if that makes you happy, if that floats your boat and you're fine with that, awesome. But you cannot later on go, I want to make more money. I feel constrained. I can't get to the next level. The problem is you're a dumbass. You cannot see past yourself to the future. I actually said in the hangout, after I got sick, if I had set it up right when we outsourced our eBay stuff, if I did the same thing with the buying, when my partner and I was sick, the business we had could have kept going. See, I was like you, self-employed. When I couldn't work anymore due to health concerns, the business went away. It was a great business. It was a great hustle. But once again, there were no factors or methodologies in place where I could say, hey, I'm leaving. Inc. magazine did this expose on this guy here in Atlanta. I forget the name of the company. He was at a crossroads. He wanted to sell his company, but because he wanted to travel the world. So he hired someone who was really good, put that person in charge of the company, and he went around the world for a year. Now let's talk about what happened. Many people are going like, wow, he got to travel around the world. If you look further than the fun stuff and look at, wow, this guy created a business, put people in place, and he went around the world for a year. He's retired already. He's reached retirement level, but he's still making 6 or 7 figures per year. Let me back that up, bring it around the corner, and honk the horn and let you hear that again. Because he created this business and he put the right chess pieces on the board, he was able to go around the world for a year with monthly income still hitting his checking account. And I believe the guy was 32. I don't remember. I don't think he was 40. So at the age of 32, he hit a retirement scenario. Going forward, this is going to be common. People are not going to do what I call sit on your ass, do nothing retirements. People are going to have perpetual income streams or businesses, and they're going to have living retirements. I have actually had 2 years of retirement from the book. I wasn't really doing much, just, sit down 15 minutes twice a week, do a video, pop it up on YouTube. And I was helping my partner, going to the doctor and stuff. I was retired with an income. I want you to think about how powerful that is. And as long as you continue to build your hustle and not build your business, you're never going to reach that point in time. You don't have to have a brick and mortar business to have a business. You have to have a process, an entity that collects and distributes money back to you with minimum involvement, or in some cases, no involvement from you. That's a business. That's passive income. There's several ways you could break that down. But long as you are hustling and you're pushing the activity button and to start your business, you have to do that. That's just part of it. You have to do it. But when you are planning the end goal, and this is something many business owners don't do. This is one of the things I help with my consulting business. Because one of the first questions I ask someone is, what do you want to do with your life? Because what we as entrepreneurs tend to do is build a business first, build a life second. You should build a life first and integrate that business into the life that you want to have. It's much easier that way. And that's one of the reasons that so many entrepreneurs experience burnout, divorce, and chronic mental illness because of the high stress levels. Being an entrepreneur in a high charged environment isn't for everyone, but that's not the only way to do entrepreneurship. You can have a job today. Here it is, May 27, 2014. You start this business today and you grow it slowly. So 10 years from now, that business is making enough money to support you, and you haven't killed yourself and you haven't broken up your family because you did it on plan. And this is one of the reasons that entrepreneurs need business coaches. Entrepreneurs need someone who's from the outside who can look in and say, look, buddy, this is what's going on with your business, because you're too close to the tree to see the forest. So essentially, part of creating a business goes into the planning before you even start the business. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, why would you get a business that requires 50 to 75% travel, or start a business that requires 50%, 75% travel? And I'm saying that because one of my neighbors is in that situation, and I'm like, you knew she was pregnant. You knew you wanted to stay home. Why did you buy that business? And he's like, yeah, why did I? And he got caught up in the money, but he missed the freedom aspect. Because if you're a person that has a very high paying job, or you have a certain type of business, you often don't have a lot of freedom. And that's one of the another reasons I stepped away from resale and actually worked on building a business that makes money where I am not around, is because it grants me freedom. And once you get a taste, ooh, that is so sweet, my teeth hurt, of that kind of freedom, it's hard to go back to enslavement. And I'm not talking about a job. There are many business owners or hustler owners who are enslaved. Because the minute they take their finger off of the throttle, everything goes sideways. But there are people who have a hustle that they can turn into a business if they take a few steps. One, this is a big one. and that is getting rid of the no one can do it better than I can. No one's going to treat my business as well as I. Bullshit. There are people out there who crave to have a job. There are people, and we've all worked with these people, that person who's on the job that acts like they own the company and they go snitching on you to the boss. They're out there. We've all worked with that person. So to actually say that there's someone who will not treat this business the way that is bullshit. They're out there because there's a group of people who never ever will have a business because they don't have that much faith and courage in themselves. It's not even about ability. It's not about intellect. It's not about no. They don't have that faith. So you can find those type of people all day long if you rid yourself and divorce yourself from the concept that no one can do it as well. The truth of the matter is there's someone out there that can do what you're doing in your business and do it better. And your ego will not allow you to deal with that. So you should stay enslaved versus freeing yourself. Run, Forrest, run, to satisfy and placate your ego and keep yourself enslaved in a hustle that could become a business. Ironic, isn't it? So hopefully this kind of clears up what is a business. You don't have to have a I don't have any buildings. Ultimately, at some point, that is the goal. I'll even lay it out for you. The goal is find a business, Class A commercial, probably in the range of 3.5 to 5 million. Buy it, put my office in there, and rent out the rest of the building, and put that building in the trust for the kiddos. That's one of the things on the plan sheet. So having a building and having employees is part of owning a business, but that's not all businesses. I have a friend who is a diamond broker, and he had all that, and he got rid of it. Now he just does the wholesale deal, works from home, and his net is pretty close to what his profit was when he had all of this other stuff. But he couldn't do what he's doing now if he didn't have that business before, because he built all his connects. He knew where. He's well known. So he has a business, and his daughter's into it. So if he wants to go to Israel or whatever, he can, and his daughter will handle stuff. So part of having a business is building a team or using technology to become your team members. My team members are YouTube, Gumroad, Facebook. These are team members. These are places that I use to help facilitate my freedom. And you can use them too. But as long as you're like, no one can do it better than me, as long as you keep telling yourself that fantasy, that false little story, because your weak ass ego can't deal with the fact that you can hire somebody for $8 to $12 an hour who can do your job better than you, you be stupid, boo. You be stupid. And that is one of the realities that people have to understand, that when you're building a business, you have to have an end goal. My end goal for Conundrum Publishing is I'm going to do this until the dirt nap. I'm hoping to hit 105, 115 technology and the advancements in healthcare. I might make 125, and I'll probably be doing something in creating content, writing books up until that point, because it doesn't require me to be anywhere at a specific time. I get to do it at my own leisure. That's why I love this business. That's why I got out of resale, because I can't do what I'm doing here in resale without, if I got back in resale, it'd probably take me 5 years to go ahead, get the stuff set up, find the team members. But for 5 years, I lose this thing I have, this freedom I have now. It's gone. I don't think it's worth it, because honestly, I believe being a content creator, publishing, doing the things that I'm doing, is going to pay way more money than resale ever did. And I made a pretty penny in resale. So this ultimately, and if it happens 10 years from now, I'm cool with that. If it happens 20 years from now, I'm cool with that, because I'm enjoying the journey. This is fun. I get to meet a lot of crazy people. I get to talk smack to you people on YouTube. And also, going back to one of the things I teach in 30 days to $2,500 is, over that time, the tribe will get larger and larger and larger. I call it storefront preaching. You've seen it. You see this little storefront, and there's this guy, and there's 5 people with their Bibles. Then, a year later, there's 200 people with their Bibles. And then 6, 7 years later, it's the ever-living waters of Christ Tabernacle with this big, huge, majestic building of a church. It starts with one person, you. So in terms of building a business or building a hustle, it's a choice. There are many people who think they have a business, but really they have a hustle. And the litmus test to know if you have a hustle, shut your hustle down for a month and see what happens to your money. If you go back, if the mere thought of shutting your hustle down for a month, well, actually, let me correct that. Set a goal of you taking a month off from your hustle. And if you can't survive, you don't have a business. All right, this is Glendon Cameron, and I'll see you on the good side. If you enjoyed this hangout, be sure to subscribe to my email list and then also join Hustler University. Links below, or there'll be these little stairs right here next to the video. Once again, this is Glendon Cameron, and I will see you on the good side.